Hi guys, it's Lexie, and as you all know, it has been a long time since my last story time, so I thought now would be the perfect time to do another one because I had an experience yesterday that I thought would be maybe an interesting story time. Basically, it's gonna be my version of like a dentist horror story, which you guys know I kind of have a thing for like horror stories. Before this video starts, I'm sorry if I'm complaining so much or being so negative. That's kind of like a reason why I also don't do story times that much, because I feel like they're usually me ranting and being negative, which I don't like to do on my channel. But sometimes, like this time, it's warranted. But today I'm going to be talking about something that happened yesterday actually, and nobody likes a long intro, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So right at this very moment, I'm back home on winter break, but I actually leave back for New York tomorrow. So by the time you're seeing this, I'm probably back in New York, and it may be after a New York vlog. I don't know what I'm uploading first, but anyways, that's kind of irrelevant. Yesterday I had a dentist appointment. Kind of figured, you know, might as well get my teeth cleaned. I'm supposed to get it done twice a year. I got it done in the summer, so I was like due for another teeth cleaning, except this time our normal dentist was completely booked up because we didn't book in advance. So my dad just found some other random one that our insurance covered and made me an appointment there. So I was like, okay, cool. I had an appointment for Friday, which was yesterday at 2 p.m. So 2 p.m. on Friday came, I drove myself there, and I had such a hard time finding this place. I was driving all around the parking lot, and I had to just eventually call them and try and find out where they were. And they were very isolated and hard to find, but eventually I found the place, and there was no parking in the entire parking lot, so I had to go back in this alley behind where they were, and I don't think I was supposed to park there, but there was nowhere else I could park, and I was not in the best area of town, so I probably shouldn't have been parking in a shady alley, but I did, so that's that. And I went in, I told the receptionist lady that I had an appointment at 2 p.m. and then she just gave me paperwork to fill out, and then I gave her my insurance card and my ID. And yeah, I was just filling that out. It didn't take too long, maybe like 5 minutes, and then I just gave it back to her. And then for some reason, she said she still had to hold on to my ID and insurance card, so she was just, I don't know, doing what with that. And when I arrived, the waiting room was really crowded. Like, there were people in almost every seat, and it was a little worrisome because if all of these people were still waiting, when was I gonna get called? Was it gonna be a while? I don't know, but I was just like, okay, maybe they have a lot of people in the back, maybe they work fast, it's okay. So I just sat down, went on my phone, started waiting, and yeah, I didn't really think anything of it. So I was sitting down, and then 15 minutes passed, and then 30 minutes passed. I was like, okay, this is taking a little long. I don't know what's going on here. And then 45 minutes passed, and then I went up and like asked her, do you know what's going on here? And then she was just like, oh yeah, we just have to make sure that your insurance covered everything, and I just double checked, and they will cover it, so just wait a second and you're gonna be called back shortly. So I was like, okay, sat back down, and then it was at the hour mark, and then an hour and 15 minutes, and I still hadn't gotten called. And at that point, I was thinking this is a little bit ridiculous. Like, I am very patient and understanding most of the time. Like, if someone sends me the wrong order, honestly, I'll probably eat it just because I don't want to complain or bother anyone. So I just went up to her and I was like, do you know when it's gonna be my turn? I was just wondering because like I have somewhere to go after this. And then she was like, oh yeah, you're gonna be the next one called. And I was like, okay, fine. So I sat back down, and then another 15 minutes passed, and at this point it had been an hour and a half, and I still hadn't been called. And at this point I was just trying so hard to hide my frustration. This was like one of the last days I had in Austin to spend with my family and friends and to do stuff, and then there I was just wasting my whole day away. So at this point it was like 3:30, and I was like, okay, I was still sitting there. And then I was supposed to be the next person. Well, that's what the lady up front told me, but then I see one of the nurse, or I don't know what they're called, like the people who aren't the dentist, hygienists, I don't know. I saw one of the hygienists come up to the waiting room, and she called a person that had arrived after me. So at this point I'm a little confused. If they arrived after me, why are they getting called before? Like, it's just kind of basic policy that someone who has an earlier appointment should go before the person who has a later appointment. But I didn't really say anything, but she could tell that I was like kind of distressed, so she looked at me and she was like, oh, I thought you were next, sorry. It seems like this person has private insurance. So I guess that because they have private insurance, they're allowed to like skip in front of me. I don't know. And then another person, like a separate party who had gotten there after me, got called also, and I don't know, did they also have private insurance, or were they just like picking favorites? I was getting really annoyed, and at this point it had been maybe like an hour and 35, an hour 40 minutes, and I was still sitting there waiting to get called back. And then eventually I remember at the 1 hour and 50 minute mark, I was finally called back, and yeah, I had to wait almost 2 hours just to get called back. And throughout this time, I was so tempted to just leave. I was texting my parents like, is this place safe? Is this okay? Should I just leave? And I was reading reviews throughout this whole time, and like they were all 1-star reviews, so like love that. But I was like, okay, I'm already here, I've already waited this long, I might as well just get it done, or else all this waiting would be for nothing. First they just took me back to a room and did x-rays, and then after that they're like, okay, now just wait for the dentist. And then I kid you not, it was maybe like first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 20 minutes, and eventually finally the dentist came and looked at my teeth. And at the places I'd gone to before, usually they clean your teeth first and then bring in the dentist, but this was different, I guess. The dentist looked at my teeth like really quickly, like he spent probably like less than a minute looking. Then he's like, oh yeah, you have a cavity back there. And I was like, okay, that's a little surprising, but fine. And then as I was reading reviews later, someone said that they had gone to this place, they were told that they had 8 cavities, and then they went to their normal dentist and were told they had 0 cavities. So like, do I trust it? I don't even know. As I was filming, my camera just randomly died, so I had to go charge it, and things look different, that's why. Today has just not been my day, man. Like, I tried to make pancakes this morning, and I'll put like a little slideshow in of how those turned out. But anyways, I think I was talking about when the dentist came and saw me and told me that like I had a cavity, even though I'm not so sure if I did or not. Okay, first of all, this dentist looked so bothered. He just looked like he was ready to end his life. He was not having it at all, so he just left quickly. And then after he left, they told me they had to go make me a file and decide what my options were. And I don't know why they had to make me a file, like they knew what the situation was. I just was really there for a teeth cleaning. Like, I did not need a 5-page like double-spaced MLA style report written up, but that's what they did. They wrote up this whole folder, and that was just kind of unnecessary. And then what was weird was they didn't even give me the folder to keep. After about maybe 20 minutes, a lady came in and told me that the teeth cleaning would be free, and then if I wanted to get the cavity filled, it would be $31. But I was just trying to get out of there because I didn't even mention this, but I hadn't eaten since 10 a.m. and I thought the appointment was going to be pretty quick, so I was like, okay, if I go from like 2 to 3 p.m. I can eat at like 3 o'clock, that's not that late. But there I was, almost 5 o'clock. So anyways, I just said I was going to do the teeth cleaning, and then when I told her I was going to do that, she told me, okay, yeah, that's fine. Everyone's busy right now, so you're going to have to wait a little bit until someone's available to do your teeth cleaning. When you call me back for the appointment, shouldn't I be able to assume that there's someone who's available to do my teeth cleaning then, because you called me back and it was my appointment time like 2.5 hours ago? I was still sitting there waiting, and it was almost rush hour that I was gonna have to drive home in. But like at this point there was nothing I could do. I was like, okay, take deep breaths. So I was sitting there waiting even longer, and throughout this time I'm just like texting my parents about how stressed out I am, and my dad was actually like really close by to where I was, so he came and met me there, and then he was like talking to people up front. He's like, why is this taking so long? Like, there's no reason it should take this long. And they're like, oh yeah, sometimes you run behind. But then when I read the reviews, it seems like they consistently run like 2 to 3 hours behind. After about 15 more minutes of waiting, a lady finally comes to go and clean my teeth. So this teeth cleaning that I decided to wait it out for, it's literally just flossing my teeth and brushing. Normally I feel like they use a lot of their high-tech tools and do a more thorough cleaning, but all this lady did was floss and brush my teeth. And throughout the whole time as she's doing this, it seemed like she was really new, because she could not figure out like how to floss my teeth because I have a bottom retainer. And also as she was cleaning my teeth, she kept spraying my face with water. Like, I don't think it's that hard to just keep it like in my mouth. I was keeping my mouth open the whole time. I wasn't being like a difficult patient or anything, but she just kept like spraying it on my cheek and like up on my eye. But because I'm very non-confrontational, I just didn't say anything and let her keep spraying me in the face. I just like closed my eyes and tried to like, okay, this is gonna be over soon. So eventually she finished that, but that wasn't the complete teeth cleaning, because then they had to bring the dentist in for his official teeth cleaning. Normally the dentist doesn't do the teeth cleaning at the places I go to, but I guess that's what they do here. And let me tell you, this teeth cleaning was one of the most painful things I have experienced. Like, it was definitely more painful than my tattoo, and I'm not exaggerating. I don't think I have a low pain tolerance, and I've never dreaded the dentist at all. Like, I've never minded it or felt any pain at all when I've gotten things done at the dentist. But this time, it was just so painful. I don't know what exactly he did, but it seemed like he just got some sort of sharp tool and he just kept jabbing my gums over and over and over. And I was just so confused because, like, what was he doing to clean? Like, there was no cleaning going on. He was literally just taking this tool and stabbing each part of my gums. And I was just like wincing so much, and I kept making like faces, but I was like trying to stay cool. and I wanted to speak up and say something, but like I said, I don't want to confront anyone. Like, someone could be murdering my entire family and I would still be scared to speak up. Okay, no, maybe in that case I would speak up. Point being, I didn't want to say anything, so I just sat through the whole thing. But as soon as I got out, like, my gums were all really bloody, and I floss twice a day, so like it's not because I don't floss, it's just because he really hurt my gums. And I was like so sore after that. I was like, oh my god, I don't think this is what a teeth cleaning should be feeling like. My mom told me I should do saltwater rinses to try and make sure I didn't get an infection, so I did that, and hopefully I don't get an infection. My gums were just swollen and all bleeding from the inside. You could see like little areas where you had pricked it, and it was just very unprofessional, very bad. And I try not to complain like about places, especially like I would never write a 1-star review. I feel like this place has given me enough fuel that I really want to write like my first 1-star review. I just left my appointment at I think like 5:10, so it was a 3-hour and 10-minute long appointment for just that painful teeth cleaning that was completely not worth it. And their price for filling a cavity, $31, is insanely cheap for a cavity fill, but after that teeth cleaning, I did not trust them. Like, for all I know, they probably would have just like filled the cavity with like, what, sour cream or something. Like, I don't know what this place is doing. It was not a trusted establishment at all. It was very shady. It was not the best experience, but like, it's over now. And I think I'm gonna see if I can find another dentist to go to, maybe in New York, because like now I'm scared. Like, if I have a cavity, I shouldn't let it keep growing, but then at the same time, like, did they just lie to me about my cavity to get more money? If you're interested in my dental chronicles, or if you enjoyed this story time, feel free to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment letting me know your worst dentist story if you have any. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Hopefully I will see you next week or the week after, whenever I upload next. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I have nothing else to say. So yeah, bye guys.